in. I do want to turn to this, though, which is CNN has new reporting on the allegations pushed by Elon Musk that the U.S. government ordered Twitter to suppress stories about Hunter Biden, his laptop, and his emails. Evan Perez joins me now with what a CNN investigation has uncovered in all of this. Evan, let's start with the bottom line here, which is that Elon Musk says that these Twitter files show the government ordered Twitter to censor a New York Post story in, I believe it was October 2020, about Hunter Biden's laptop. Do these internal Twitter files and CNN's reporting show this?
They do not, Kate. And look, we spent some time, myself, Donny O'Sullivan and Brian Fung, talking to people on both sides of these conversations, both tech executives and the FBI. We've looked at these Twitter files that have been released by a group of journalists that Elon Musk chose to share some of these internal documents. And what emerges from that is no direct order from the FBI to Twitter to suppress the story, which was done for a few days ahead of the in October of 2020. Instead, what appears to have happened is Twitter executives were primed. They were ready for what they thought was coming, which was a Russian disinformation effort, and they thought this was it. It is something that obviously emerges. You can see a lot of confusion in the behind the scenes at Twitter as they were trying to grapple with what to do with this story. They all admit, by the way, that this was a mistake to suppress that story, but there's enough in these files to raise questions, and I think that's one of the things that the Republican lawmakers are latching onto. Certainly, the James Baker is a former FBI official who's now who was working at Twitter at the time. He has since been fired. And I think you're going to see an effort to get to more communications because something could emerge from additional searching by the Republicans.
And can we just dig into a couple of the other major allegations? I mean, there's a lot to this, so I just want to explain it, and you're doing a great job of explaining it to folks. The major allegations that have been made by the reporters with whom Musk has chosen to share these internal documents with. One of them is that the day before the New York Post story publishes, an FBI agent uses a secure channel to send over a batch of documents to a Twitter executive. What's that about?
Right, so there were 10 documents that were being sent by an FBI agent in San Francisco to Yoel Roth, who is a high-level executive at Twitter. And what you see there, according to one of those tweets of these Twitter files, there is some insinuation that there was perhaps some order that was being sent from the FBI. This is the day before the New York Post story publishes. We talked to the FBI, and an FBI official told us that 8 of those documents were actually related to malign foreign influence. This is stuff that the FBI routinely sends to social media companies saying, here's some information about some accounts that are posting things that may be connected to a foreign government. You guys do whatever you want to do with it. This is up to you. 2 of the documents did have to do with an investigation on possible election or voter suppression. So that's the explanation for those 10 documents.
Another claim is that Twitter was getting paid millions by the FBI. Have you found anything on that?
Yeah, so $3.4 million, according to you'll see a tweet that explains that there is perhaps some connection in the relationship between Twitter and the FBI. The FBI says that under federal law, companies are allowed to seek reimbursement for the costs they incur to respond to FBI records requests, for instance, subpoenas, if they have to comply with anything that the FBI is ordering them to supply as part of an investigation. They are allowed to seek reimbursement of that, and that goes across the board for service providers like phone companies and so on. So Twitter is one of those companies, and that figure is what that explains, $3.4 million.
And just kind of stepping back a little bit and looking at just how much, there's been a lot of focus on how much interaction was going on between Twitter and the FBI. Can you explain why the FBI is even doing this?
Yeah, so the FBI says, and Twitter says, that all of this is in part because of 2016, right, where the intelligence community found that the Russian intelligence agencies use social media to help interfere with U.S. elections, and that includes the hacking of Democratic campaigns, dumping files that were intended to hurt the candidacy of Hillary Clinton and help Donald Trump. And so the companies and the FBI were trying to figure out a way to stop that from happening again in 2020. And so that's what you see in some of these Twitter files that have been published. I'll read you just a part of the statement from the FBI pushing back on these claims from Elon Musk and others. And they say this is part of the traditional effort that the FBI makes to work with social media companies. And they say it is unfortunate that conspiracy theories and others are feeding the American public misinformation with the sole purpose of attempting to discredit the agency. The bottom line from the FBI is that, you know, there is nothing that has emerged that shows them going over the line. Kate, it's clear, though, we're going to hear a lot more of this because Republicans are promising to investigate this stuff, even though at this point, some of the journalists that have been digging deep on behalf of Elon Musk have so far said that there was no direct order from the FBI to censor these stories.
Great work, Evan. Thanks so much. I really appreciate you bringing it on. Thank you.